Good evening and welcome to Kini News. This segment is brought to you by Blue Air. Malaysia recorded a record high of 3,337 new Covid-19 cases today. Here's the country's latest Covid-19 situation.
The Health Ministry reported a new daily record of 3,337 Covid-19 cases today. Previously, the daily record of new cases was 3,309 cases, which was recorded on January 12. Out of the total cases today, 7 were imported. For the local cases, the Klang Valley accounted for most of the new cases. Selangor recorded the highest number of new cases with 1,036, followed by Johor with 460 cases, Sabah with 389 cases, and Kuala Lumpur with 257. The Health Ministry also reported 15 new Covid-19 deaths today, taking the death toll to 578. 8 of the deaths were recorded in Sabah, 3 in Selangor, 2 in Johor, and 1 each in Negeri Sembilan and Putrajaya. There are currently 195 patients in the ICU, with 86 requiring respiratory support.
The government has called on opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim to provide the names of 3 candidates for the bipartisan committee on the emergency.
Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Taqiyuddin Hassan, has written to opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim to request 3 candidates who will sit on the bipartisan emergency committee. Government sources told Malaysia Kini the letter has been sent to Anwar. A source from the Prime Minister's Department said the minister requested the opposition to submit 3 names as its members on the independent committee. When contacted, Harapan Chief Secretary Saifuddin Nasution confirmed receipt of the letter. He said he had received a call from Taqiyuddin on the matter and also received the letter on behalf of the opposition leader. Saifuddin said he had also queried Taqiyuddin on the committee's terms of reference and final composition. He said, "This is as the numbers of government and opposition MPs may be equal, or taking into consideration the latest developments, the opposition may have more MPs." The committee was announced by Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin in his televised address on Tuesday to announce the emergency declaration. Muhyiddin said it would be an independent committee made up of health experts and bipartisan lawmakers to advise the Yang di-Pertuan Agong on the national emergency. Among the issues the committee will deliberate on is if the emergency declaration could be ended earlier than its current August date.
Deputy Foreign Minister Kamaruddin Jaffar has defended the government's emergency proclamation, saying that it was aimed at curbing the spread of Covid-19.
Deputy Foreign Minister Kamaruddin Jaffar said the proclamation of emergency is not against the principles of democracy, as it is clearly enshrined in Article 150(1) of the Federal Constitution. He said the article clearly stated that it is necessary to declare the state of emergency if security or economic life or public order is threatened, and it was aimed at curbing the spread of Covid-19. In a statement, Kamaruddin said that it will also ensure that the government can function better without any disruption and irresponsible action from any party that can undermine efforts to fight Covid-19 and achieve economic stability. Kamaruddin also dismissed claims that Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin was using the emergency proclamation to avoid the general election from being held. He said, taking the Sabah state election as a lesson, the Prime Minister no longer wanted to make political decisions that will do more harm than good to the people. And Muhyiddin had given his assurance that the general election will be held after the pandemic subsides. Kamaruddin called on all parties, regardless of their political ideologies, to set aside differences for the time being and work with the government to immediately break the Covid-19 infection chain.
Gurmusang MP Tengku Razaleigh Hamzah is the latest political figure in Malaysia to test positive for Covid-19.
Gurmusang MP Tengku Razaleigh Hamzah has tested positive for Covid-19. Astro Awani quoted a source as saying that the UMNO Advisory Council chief is in a stable condition with no related complications, and he is currently being treated at the University Malaya Medical Centre in Petaling Jaya. The source reportedly said that Tengku Razaleigh is a close contact of Negeri Assembly person Abdul Aziz Yusof, who recently tested positive for Covid-19. On January 9th, Aziz was tested positive alongside Gurmusang UMNO Youth Chief Muhammad Asmawi Fikri Abdul Ghani. Tengku Razaleigh was reported to be a close contact of Aziz based on their attendance at a briefing said to have been held in Kuala Lumpur last week. Astro Awani also reported that Tengku Razale's aide, Lokman Abdul Ghani, had tested positive for COVID-19 and was being treated at the Kuala Lumpur hospital.
A deputy minister has denied news reports that he had violated the Movement Control Order or MCO directive.
Deputy Health Minister 1 Nur Azmi Ghazali's office has denied that he had breached the Movement Control Order by receiving visitors at the office. In a statement, the office said that 2 portals had uploaded news reports claiming that Dr. Nur Azmi received a courtesy call from a group of individuals in his office yesterday. Ghazali's office denied the allegations made by the 2 portals and said that the picture of the visit was on January 12, the day before the implementation of the MCO. They also requested that the news portals involved to immediately retract the accusations and inaccurate information they had published, as such false allegations could create a bad public perception towards the Deputy Minister and the Health Ministry. The officer was referring to a report by Malaysia Kini and one other news portal. Earlier, Malaysia Kini reported that the Deputy Minister had uploaded photos showing him receiving a group of visitors at his Putrajaya office in an apparent breach of the MCO rules. The photos were posted on Facebook at around 1 p.m. on January 13th, on the first day of the renewed MCO that covers several states and territories including Putrajaya. For the record, Malaysia Kini had contacted Nur Azmi for clarification. The article also noted that the post did not specify when the meeting took place. The photos were removed from his Facebook at around 9 p.m. yesterday.
And that's all this evening. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget that you can follow us on social media on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Instagram to get the latest headlines there as well. Don't forget to wear your mask when you're going out and if possible, just stay at home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching and as always, stay safe Malaysia.